On this week's Most Craved,
Tom Holland, threat or menace?
Hannibal has its last supper.
James Horner, My Heart Will Go On. Hey guys, welcome to Most Craved. I'm Jenna Bush with Legion of Leia.
I'm Silas Lesnick with ComingSoon.net.
And I'm William Bibiani with Grave Online. Hey.
The big news this week is that we have a new Spider-Man.
We do. We do. And it's this kid right here. He's looking very happy. He's it's gonna be Spider-Man.
Tom Holland.
Yes.
I believe he directed Fright Night.
He wrote Fright Night. That's weird. There's a lot of horror fans are going to be very confused by this for forever. Didn't he direct Child's Play? What? Anyway, so this kid beat out a whole bunch of other kids to be Spider-Man. It looks like we're probably going to see him first in Captain America: Civil War. That's the whisper heard most often. Mm-hmm. Then he's going to get his own movie directed by
John Watts, who I don't know at all, and I'm really excited to see some of his films. He did a film called Clown.
It's a horror movie called Clown that no one's seen yet.
And we'll never see because clowns.
Fair enough.
And then he has a new one called Cop Car that's getting an official release in August. It showed at Sundance and got great reviews. The fact that it's a film that Marvel seems to have seen and said, I want this person directing Spider-Man, makes me really, really excited to see Cop Car.
No, me too. I love this.
What if the film they saw was Clown, and that means that Spider-Man is going to fight an evil clown?
Shush! No.
But he's going to fight the evil clown.
But it is cool. It is cool that Marvel is taking some relatively unknown people, because they're starting to stack up some really big names, some bigger actors. You know, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. That seemed obvious. Here are some people who are big question marks. Marvel has a lot of faith in them. That's paid off before. Neat.
I actually think it's really cool. I like the idea of seeing someone new, especially if they're going to go with young Spider-Man.
Yeah, I saw The Impossible. I saw Locke. I mean, he's been in things here and there, and he's certainly been good.
Yeah.
I am excited to see. I have a lot of faith in Marvel, and frankly, whoever they say has made it through these rounds and rounds of auditions and gotten the part probably has earned it. So I'm really excited to see. He's posted some things on Instagram of himself doing flips and acrobatic stunts, practicing the Spider-Man moves, that's neat.
That's really cool.
I liked his blurb at the bottom of it. Bored. You're Spider-Man. You don't get to be bored. Your life is a treasure right now, all right? Enjoy it.
I will say, like, we had this whole process of casting where, like, we talked about on the show, we were all kind of like, it would be cool to see a minority.
Yeah.
I do think that's the most unfortunate thing. It would have been neat. That being said, I do think Marvel is taking a lot of strides. They just announced this week Miles Morales is going to be the Spider-Man in the 616 continuity, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the Avengers lineup, we're still not 100% sure. They announced this week that we are going to see Wasp in flashbacks in Ant-Man. If she comes out at the end of the movie and it's Evangeline Lilly and she's the Wasp and Ant-Man join the Avengers, and if Captain America dies, like a lot of people predict, the Avengers lineup is suddenly one white male and Ant-Man, 3 women, War Machine and Falcon, and a red-skinned synthezoid, which is a really diverse lineup.
I think that's pretty cool. I like the idea that they're doing this, and as we're leading into like Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel, very excited. But I actually, if we're gonna diversify in that way, then I can accept White Spider-Man, but I still liked your idea about Tony Revolori. That
would have been cool.
That would have been
Somewhere
so cool.
in a parallel universe.
He's totally playing Spider-Man.
I don't know. I just can't be that passionate about this kind of thing. Like, this kid's going to be Spider-Man. Good for him. Seriously. Well done, kid.
But Spider-Man's
I hope
best.
you do well. I want that movie to be good. I didn't like the last 2 Spider-Man movies. So,
No, I did.
you know, John Watts, do a good job. Congratulations. And, well done, sirs.
I love Spider-Man. Love Spider-Man.
I love him too.
Speaking of love and stuff, there's a show that Bibbs and I are really, really fond of. I'm jealous of actually all the coverage you've done. You've done some incredible Hannibal coverage.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I did. I've interviewed executive producer Brian Fuller a bunch of times, and then there's going to be a Hannibal issue of Fangoria in late July, it looks like, and I've got like 4 articles in it, so that'll be really, really cool. I love Hannibal. I love the Hannibal Lecter movies, except for Hannibal Rising and Red Dragon. And I love the Hannibal show, and I love Thomas Harris novels. I love what Brian Fuller has done with this incredible series, just doing insane, violent art house cinema on a network. I can't believe he's gotten away with it for 3 seasons, and I'm not surprised that it's been canceled after 3 seasons. But if you look at sort of the arc of the show and what we know we're going to see in this season, like we know that we're finally getting to the events of Red Dragon, to which the entire series has been a prequel up until now. It's kind of an okay place to end it.
But weren't they talking, now I haven't seen the show, but weren't they talking about it as in terms of 4 seasons?
They were talking about it, depending on when you asked Brian Fuller that, it was 4 seasons, sometimes it was 5. I think he even joked maybe in 6 or 7 once. And it all kind of depended on rights issues. The way Hannibal worked is they had the rights to every character and every storyline that was introduced in Red Dragon, which was the very first Hannibal Lecter novel. Everything from Silence of the Lambs, out of bounds. Every character introduced in Silence of the Lambs, that includes Clarice Starling, out of bounds. They were able to like rent aspects of Hannibal and Hannibal Rising on a per episode basis, which they're doing a lot of this season. But their options for adapting stuff was actually quite limited. So once they've run through Hannibal, and they're barely touching Hannibal Rising because it sucked, they're kind of out of material, and they would have just been kind of making stuff up, which they could do. But one of the best aspects about this show was this sort of inevitability of it. We know where it's going, and it's just fascinating to see how they remixed the path to get there.
Well, they've been talking about possibly taking this to a Netflix or a Hulu or an Amazon.
Honestly, the show is so good that I don't think it's even hit me that it might be canceled, because it's insane to think that anyone would stop it from existing. Just it's such a marvelous piece of art, and this season has been expanding. They've been doing a lot with philosophy and some really neat ideas that I really haven't seen anywhere else.
The first 3 episodes of Hannibal this season, if you think about it, not much has actually happened, but it all seems so important. It's all very beautiful and creepy and moody, and it's very intelligent. Like, you will be smarter after watching Hannibal. I think you will talk better about stuff.
I would say, honestly, the show's gotten to a point where I finally am like, oh, I totally get Hannibal now. Like, I don't want to eat people, but I get why he does it.
Yeah.
I love you, Silas.
Well, that's one of the things that was kind of beautiful. When Thomas Harris had to do Hannibal Rising, he had to give Hannibal's origin, which no one wanted. There was even a joke and scream about how Hannibal Lecter is better without it. And he just wrote this thing about him killing off Nazis who ate his sister, and it was nuts. What they've done in Hannibal is they've really gotten into his head and really given you that motivation, and it's really, really brilliant. And the first season is incredible. The second season is a miracle. And this 3rd season is kicking ass, everything I've seen of it. So
wait, so you're saying I should watch this? Like, it's worth...
Oh,
it's one of the best shows on television.
And it's very... Each season is a complete story in and of itself. And honestly, when I saw the first episode, I didn't even like it that much. I think I had a hard time like seeing Mads Mikkelsen as Hannibal Lecter, and I just didn't return to it for a couple episodes, and then went back and rewatched it and didn't have the problem, and just got so enraptured in it. And the second season is so fast-paced that like once you start, it's very hard to stop watching.
And it's kind of fascinating. I've been rewatching it from the beginning with my girlfriend, and it starts off very traditional. Just, this guy working with a serial killer. They catch serial killers. You could have totally done any other show that way. And then gradually over the course of the first season, it gets really subjective and absolutely hallucinatory and insane, and it never leaves that. And it's so gradual you don't even notice. So when I went back to the first episode, I'm like, oh yeah, this show was normal once.
Oh wow. Okay, so but no clowns.
Not yet.
All right, good. I'll
we're good
watch
on
then.
clowns. We're good on clowns. We're good on clowns. And then before we go,
yes,
we have to talk about cinema has lost one of its greats this week. The late James Horner appears to have passed away in a plane crash outside around Santa Barbara, and he was the composer of many of the best and most popular movies ever made. A lot of people know his work from Aliens. A lot of people know his work from Avatar.
Titanic.
Titanic, obviously. That was the only won 2 Oscars, and they were both for Titanic. We just wanted to pay our respects and also single out some of his best work. So, Jenna, what was your favorite James Horner?
Braveheart.
Braveheart?
Braveheart.
Why Braveheart?
I just, even though it's hard to watch now because, Mel Gibson, but there's just something about it. I recognize it anywhere I go, because I don't really listen to movie soundtracks just in general. Like, I need them to be with the movie. That one, I don't know, there's something about it. I'll just listen to it for fun because it's kind of haunting and I love it.
Yeah. Silas?
It's definitely Star Trek II, which is a movie that I grew up loving, just loving Star Trek, and as I return to it, I always find something more. I really don't think that there is any film anywhere that looks at death as sort of elegantly as Star Trek II.
Wow.
And there's a lot to be said about it. And I was listening to some of the score from it after I heard that he had passed away, and it's just there's so much in Star Trek II. He's not Spock, but applies to anyone.
Yeah.
Not really gone as long as we remember them.
Yeah.
There's some beautiful stuff there, and the music fits it perfectly.
Yeah.
Crap, we should have ended with you. My favorite was Searching for Bobby Fischer. It's actually my favorite movie. It's an incredible movie about a young chess genius, and his score for that movie I consider his finest achievement. And in particular, there's a track called Josh and Vinny that is my favorite piece of movie music ever, and it just tells a beautiful, complete story about rediscovering something that you once loved. And it just happens so gradually and so triumphantly, and it just makes me shiver every time I hear it. So sorry to go out on a bad note, everybody, but James Horner, you will be missed. We'll be back next week with more Most Craved. You can follow us on Twitter and share your favorite James Horner soundtracks. Let us know.